And this is the view from Lena's place. Wow, look at that view. Seems like you'd almost have to search high and low to find a bad view from our hilltop. Now that house in the middle of the screen there, that is Julio's house, and next to Julio's house on the right there is the Big Blue, which is still bogged down. It's not bogged down in the mud, it's run up because of the mud, run into that channel at the side of the road, couldn't get out of it, and it eventually ran aground. And there's the big hill, there's our road. Our road passes, I'm going to put my finger up, there's our road, passes up, and it goes around the hill there. So that's us. Now this house that's in the middle here, now this house is Rado's house, and when we put the road in, Rado actually, he navigated, what can we say, navigated, he did by survey. He took a hand plough, listen to this carefully, he took a hand plough. It was just a footpath, one that was big enough admittedly for the carabao to walk, dragging a bamboo sled, but he took a carabao and with a hand plough he carved 90 meters up that road, 90 meters up and around behind that hill and over and out of sight. And he did that with a carabao and a hand plough made from rebar. Go figure. Now when we put in the road, we decided that we would do our best to help everybody that we could. So when we had got our road put in up to here, we took the road up to there, and then we did that a little bit later for ourselves, and we put a concrete strip in, and that would take us down to the bridge, because this here, if I were to look like that, that is the creek. So down to the creek, where obviously that's where the bridge is. Well, there's Rado's house is on the other side of, let me see, I'm looking carefully, trying to look out for snakes as well, but get a little bit further down. Okay, a little bit clearer ground. Now, between our hill and Rado's house is a whole complex of rice fields. And all of those rice fields drain down into the creek. And the creek is right behind this hill here. So all of these rice fields go up next to Julio's house, they go up there, then they go up on either side of Rado's house, which is over there. So come down, you got the going around like this and going up, and then they go up and they're tiered. They're all tiered. And they go up and around. Now I don't know whether you can still see this in this light, but I try to point it out with my finger looking at the screen. So they're coming around like this, and then they curve around there, and then they go behind that hill. So it really is an extensive rice terrace. You can see those lines that separate each part of the rice fields. And that is where the level changes, because it's coming downhill. But the rice field itself is flat, so they angle it, and it takes a lot of work for digging out, and they shift the earth so that they have this line. And there's the line there, and it goes across, so there it is. And that's where the level has been brought up to make it level. But when the heavy rains come, every field, every rice field drains down into next, into the next, into the next, and so on. And then you can see here how it works. Goes down. There's another there. Now that, what you can see there, that pool in the middle of the screen, I'm making it. That's where the carabao would take some quality time. And then you have the other rice fields, and they're all very cleverly thought out by farmers. And I am living with hilltop farmers, and they're a very special people, believe me. Now, when we did the road, as I was telling you before I started waffling on about rice fields, we took the road right to Rado's house, which is there. So we took the rice field, we took the road, and from right over here it goes right around, and it joins in when it gets right behind those hills, it joins the main road, or the track, which has been put in years ago by the owner of all of those palm oil. That's a palm oil, that's a palm planting there, a complete palm a palm field, and all of those palm trees are up there, and that is owned, or was owned at one time, by a man who put the road in. And he put the road in and he took it to there, but then he took it off along the top there rather than coming here. So that road was redone by the grader, and it goes over along the top there. And when it got to a point where it took it off to our neighbour Oping, who's a good neighbour, Oping and his family, and they take it off in another direction, in another Y shape, a fork in the road, and the other fork we brought down with the grader, and we brought it down. Let me see if I can get my finger on it. We brought it down and we took it right to Rado's house. And the reason we did that is because there are times when he urgently needs to get to the hospital with his son who is disabled, and there he can do it relatively easily now in his tricycle, which of course he has a sidecar, and he can get the boy onto that and he can make it himself. In the past there was one urgent time when he needed to get the child to hospital urgently, and we put the little boy, young boy, into, I think he's somewhere between 10 and maybe 12, and we put him in the back of the little red and we took him to the hospital. So here you can just about see our compound and what we're doing, some of what we're doing. You can see the guest house, you can see the red house, you can see our new house, our office cum storage unit. And now, on this little house, for those who don't know, this little house here with this little tiny extension, which is a kitchen cum diner, all very, very basic, and built in the time-honoured way on stilts, and it's still good. It's still good. There's the outside CR, or for the Westerners, it's a toilet. Now this is no palace, but when Talia was having trouble at home, even though we had just built her a very nice house, she was abandoned by the husband. Husband took off and found a lady somewhere else, and started another family, and Talia was left and had problems with her brother, who is the uncle of her daughter, and our daughter is same age, same sort of size as Taliklik, but is much more, what can I say, much more advanced or much more matured into a younger woman. Talik is kind of a skinny thing, chicken wing as my brother would call her, and they had problems, and eventually the only way out for them was to move. And Lena very kindly agreed that Talia could come and live in this little house here. And so Talia and her family, Michelle and her young boy Dodong, have come and they live here. And they live happily in that little house. And that little house is absolutely traditional way. Would you believe that Lena did some of that woodwork herself? Filipinas, very resourceful people. And that's Lena's new house. And quite a few people helped Lena to have that house. And it's actually a very nice house. And that's where Talik lives, and Lena lived there. And as I said, Talia's family live in that little house there. And because of where it is in our compound, she feels protected and safe, and we're happy to have her there. So, back to our building site up here. End of the day. No spectacular Leonardo da Vinci sunset tonight, so we'll just have to be satisfied. Not so bad, huh? Okay, end of the day. And my little friend here, who has attached herself to me for some strange reason. Puppy, what's with this, huh? Get down, you're gonna make a mess. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, everybody's washing up and cleaning up there, getting ready to go home. I think it must be around 6. And out here it will be light, 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 dark. It's like somebody threw a switch. And as we have got to use that back door for a little while, I think that's Perry having a little bit of a tidy up so that we don't kill ourselves in the dark, because there's no light around the back here. I'm really excited about moving on to the next part of the construction. Not that I love having construction going on, I wish it was all over, but once we bring our house out to here, and this is about where it will come out to. It'll come out to about here. So, if you look, up to there. And that is about 22 feet. So it'll come out 22 feet. It will swell out a little bit like a T, an upside down T, so that we can get 2 bedrooms into the end of that building, and that's what we'll be looking at. And I think my battery is about to go out, so I will end off. Thank you for being with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and as Beth always says, subscribe. Bye for now.